Good afternoon. I'm up at the Wonga campground at Wyperfeld National Park. It's pretty empty. There's only a handful of people there. It is midweek though. This is an amazing spot. I'm just going to go and check out a short version of a walk I've done. This one's called I think it's the Discovery Walk. So I've done a longer version of this walk with Sam one time, about a 12-15k one. This is only 4k, so it'll be nice to get a little look at the park. It's very diverse, this park. I highly recommend Wyperfeld. Alright, I'll spin the camera out and stop waffling on. So this is the campground. There's numerous toilet blocks, fire pits, shelters. There's an old hut down over there. And this is the start of my walk here. Signposted as advertised, Discovery Walk. Alright, it's about 4.5 k's I think. That's a loop walk. Let's go and check it out. So I'll come back from that left track. We'll stick to the signposting, eh? So the player comfort level for this one's about, there's a breeze blowing, obviously you can hear it. Some would even call it a wind. It's probably, it was low 20s when I left the car, I think it was 21. So it's a pretty comfy kind of day. The wind's keeping the flies at bay, more or less. Which is a good thing. So I'll leave the stumpy tail in peace. So I've been walking this kind of clay pan or flats between some dunes. So there's dunes over there. There's dunes over there. It looks like I'm going to climb up into the dunes up here though. So those stumps were burnt in 1946, would you believe it or not? It's a long time ago. So there's a few seats, plenty of information boxes scattered around. The information boards are like covered, so which is to stop them fading in the baking heat, I guess. So Wyperfeld being in the Mallee is best avoided in summer normally, but the other months aren't too bad. Here's one of the information kind of signs here. So yeah, to stop them fading out, I reckon they've put them beneath the cover, which seems to be working well because you can read them. It's certainly park-like. So I've been mostly, I've been up on the dunes for a while. Yeah, let's drop down to this clay pan. I think I'm heading up that one there. That may or may not be Mount Mattingly. It's a better look at it from here. Looks like a park, doesn't it? So I'm heading back towards the campground here. So there's plenty of mallee mixed in with the cypress pine, or cypress pines. I am in the mallee though. Plenty of, well, they call it porcupine grass here. I've always called it spinifex. You can see where the roos sleep in the middle. That's all the roo poo. So yeah, they use it for a bit of a windbreak. And the mallee, for anyone that's not sure, are the ones with the multiple trunks coming out of the ground. So they're the eucalypt ones. There's a big one over there, but they're everywhere. And the cypress pines are obviously the ones that look like pines. So I'm not sure if those emus came up before. They're on that tree line over there. By the time I got the camera out and zoomed in, they'd pretty well disappeared in the bushes. Still reckon I might be heading for that dune over there, on the top of that dune there. We'll see. I'm getting closer to that hill. See the pines here, and then the mallee down on the flats down there. The pines normally go on the sandy soil. Not that the flats aren't sandy, but they may be less sandy than the dunes. That's my understanding of it anyway. Well, that is Mount Mattingly, I think. Okay, I guess this is the lookout at Mount Mattingly. Oh. I'd say that's the camp over there, on the other side of those dunes. Possibly. So Mount Mattingly is named after Mr. Mattingly that came here bird watching in 1907. And was so impressed with the place he went back and advocated for it to be a reserve, and it was declared a national park in 1907. So hang on, have I got that right? Mattingly was here 2 years before it was declared a national park. Maybe it was a national park in 1909. It's one of the older parks in Victoria, I think. Those numbers could be a bit rubbery, but it's old one way or another. Alright, so I'm dropping off Mount Mattingly now and heading back to the Wonga camp and car park. So I've got less than a kilometre to go, I think. been a very interesting walk. Well, it's been a bit harder than you may imagine with all this soft sand. There's been quite a bit of climbing on soft sand. Oops. Every one of these little information boxes almost has got its own huntsman in it. They're pretty harmless. It's a pretty red gum. Okay, this is the track on the left here that I went out on. So I'm pretty well back at the start of the walk now. I'll spin the camera around and sign off. All right. That discovery walk at Wyperfeld came into about 4.4 k's. Climbed about 40 metres according to AllTrails. That might change a bit when I get some cell service and it goes through the software, I think. It's a short walk, obviously 4.4 k's, but there's a little bit in it. It's kind of, because of the soft sand, it's a little bit harder than you'd imagine. And that 40 metres might go up a little bit, I reckon. It might go up to, say, 70 metres. So there's a little bit of climbing on soft sand. But it's a really good walk. This is a park that is one of the better maintained parks in Victoria, I reckon, in my experience. And it's also very diverse for Mallee country. You kind of move from one habitat to another very quick, so it's worth a visit. But we're obviously a long way from most of the population centres. So you probably need to camp or stay in a town or something if you come up here. I'm about a good 5 hours from Melbourne, maybe 5.5. All right, I'm going to, speaking of Melbourne, it's time to get in the ute and head home. I'm going to get in the ute and escape these flies. I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy.